Welcome back to the Convo Couch, ladies and gentlemen. I am Pasta Jardula.
And I'm Fiorella.
And Johnny Sue on the ones and two. And today I'm wearing my super progressive shirt because we have a super progressive in the studio. My man, Ron Placone. How you doing, Ronnie?
How's it going, guys? I always love joining you on the casting couch.
You son of a beeswax. You know, you come in with a Misfit shirt on, and
it's like Carson or something. Like it's like you earn your way to the couch. Like someday you get to sit on the Convo couch. I have not earned that stripe yet. But I love this desk. You got a mason jar full of pens, which I love mason jars and I love pens. So it's like, yeah, and some delicious homemade limeade.
Yes.
Shout out to Craig Posture Jardula. Made the limes right from the tree, so this is organic.
Mm-hmm. Could you tell people it's a ginger simple syrup, please?
Well, I guess that takes away the organic thing technically, but it doesn't matter. A ginger
Who's organic
simple,
sugar?
That's hard to say.
Ginger simple syrup.
Ginger simple syrup.
Well, you're wearing a ginger patch.
I'm a ginger person, actually.
A whole ginger.
I got ginger going in all ways.
Well, let me ask you a quick question before we get into the show.
Delicious.
Thank you. If they expand the super progressives, if you haven't seen the super progressives, go check it out. All these great progressives, except maybe we have to get rid of this one. But that's beside that one. If they do the Marvel characters, which superhero do you think you would want to be?
Man, we were talking about this off mic. That is very difficult.
Yes.
You know, I mean, I feel like Wolverine's such a cool go-to, but everybody wants to be Wolverine. I mean, he's so cool. The Hulk would be fun.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? Oh wait, actually, I just had a moment because I was about to say Spawn. Spawn is not Marvel. Spawn is actually. I don't believe Spawn is Marvel.
It is, right? It was Image first. It was bought by Marvel, I believe.
But isn't it? Doesn't Todd? Oh, what's the guy's name? Todd.
This
is not a comic book.
It's
It's McFarlane.
It's McFarlane.
Not a comic book expert show, by the way. At least I'm not. Maybe you know more than me. But I mean, I know a little bit. But didn't Todd McFarlane just kind of have his own thing?
He did, but then he was bought. It was like Image. It was called Image, I think, or he bought into. I don't. All right,
remember. I don't know.
But you're sticking.
But
with
Spawn
Wolverine.
Spawn's a bad choice anyway because that dude did not have a fun go at it. I mean, that was pretty.
He had a rough life.
He got killed. He got killed by the CIA basically.
Wow.
And now he's just a hellspawn who is trying to lead the Devil's Army. And good movies though. Fun comics.
Well, I don't know if the movies are good. I wouldn't classify them as good, but interesting.
I enjoyed it. I mean, what movie are you talking about? Like the major motion picture one, or the cartoon
Spawn.
ones?
No, the first actual major motion picture was.
I thought it was okay.
It was
but
decent.
The cartoons are better.
Yeah, the cartoons are way better.
Fiorella is so over this conversation.
Yeah. Do you know what superhero you would want to be, though, fam?
I barely know ones? Enough to say. I'm sorry. I'm not knowledgeable on that.
What was Professor X's number? The girl, the one who went out with Cyclops.
Jean Grey.
Was that it?
Yeah.
You could be that person.
Okay. Sounds cool.
We said the Wonder Twins at first. You know what I'm saying? But who knows? Let's get into this stuff here.
You guys could be the Fantastic Four duo.
Well, actually, I think who did you say that?
Those movies were terrible.
Johnny Tsunami said, "Well, I would make Ron Mr. Fantastic."
Mr. Fantastic?
Yeah.
He doesn't do anything cool, right?
Yeah, he does. He stretches.
And I can't. Yeah, I can't stretch.
He's got the hottest
Black
girl.
Widow. I don't
Black
know if
Widow.
she's on there, but I like her.
Anyways, we got 138 people watching on the Convo Couch YouTube, and of course, you can go over to Get Your News On with Ron. And hook us up over there as well, too.
That's just youtube.com/Ron Placone.
That is true.
Boop, boop.
Yeah.
But we're going to get into some stuff. We haven't talked a lot about it on this channel. We're going to talk about something new. Epstein.
Yeah, you guys haven't covered that at all.
Epstein.
No,
we've been light on it and stuff like that. Well, we had another super progressive on the show, and Graham Elwood, your partner from the tour. Which,
by the way, we got some dates coming up.
We're
going to be in the Upper Midwest, September 4th. We're going to Omaha, Nebraska, September 5th. Sioux Falls, September 6th. Madison, Wisconsin, September 7th. Minneapolis, Minnesota, September 8th. Iowa City. Get your tickets at ronplacone.com. Do not wait on those tickets. Oh, and then we're going to Australia in November. ronplacone.com for all those tickets. All the Australian tickets are available now. Boom.
Okay. Some people on the chat want to know when you're going to St. James Island. If you're going to be touring there. That's what we're going to talk about, the wares. We're going to start about the wares. The other day we did the who's, so we're going to talk a little about the wares because we want to unpack. It seems like whoever's dealing with the story, they're moving at their own pace, and that's where they're at. Mm-hmm. So now we got to dive into the places a little bit more now that they're becoming a little bit more available.
You know what's
FBI,
crazy, man?
Yeah.
When you get to the why is just there is evil in this world.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's the only why. Like why? Well, because there is evil in the world.
For this one?
Sometimes there is a line between good and evil, and this is evil.
Yeah. You said something interesting upstairs that was amazing. You're like...
There's a first time for everything.
Yeah.
No, go ahead.
Well, you were just saying something about the fact that that you've never seen conspiracy theories and stuff like that. You've never seen anything like this ever to where it... Yeah.
Yeah, has anyone? I mean, this is one of those things where, and, I know there's tons of stuff floating around, and it's like all these people, I saw something on MSNBC where they clutched their pearls. They're all like, oh, the conspiracy theorists, they're in full swing over this one.
Yeah.
And it's like, you realize every quote-unquote conspiracy theory that's out there is infinitely more plausible than the official story.
Yeah.
The official story is so, I mean... Come on, you don't even need to state it anyway. Like, no one buys that.
Yeah.
Nobody buys that. Like, a dude was inexplicably taken off a suicide watch. Most popular prisoner on the face of the world.
Yeah.
He's a billionaire. He's inexplicably taken off suicide watch. And then he's able to kill himself with, I guess, just his clothes and maybe some sheets. Nobody notices until it's too late. What? No.
Yeah.
That's... nuts. I mean, I tweeted about it. I was like, there's some people who honestly believe this. Talk about conspiracy theorists.
Yeah, exactly. That's
a fantasy.
Theory.
Well, I mean, there is, we didn't point out last time in the last show, there was a big mess up by the Department of Justice and Donald Trump. By that
very
one.
out of character for them.
Yeah.
They got something wrong?
Well, they did get something
First
wrong.
time for
really
everything.
bad. Well, I think it's fair we have to point that out, whether it was a hit job from the conspiracy theorists who say that Clinton had him killed. And, we know that when it comes to the Department of Justice, there's been many administrations, there's many Clinton loyalists, Trump loyalists. Mm-hmm. So anything's possible at this time, whether he killed himself, been killed, whether he's alive and made a deal. I still think that that's possible. I don't know. I mean, people are telling me I'm crazy, but this guy had the keys to the kingdom, and he had dirt on everybody. So if he had to point to say, hey, Trump, I'll give you everything. Just get me out of here. Let me go kick it in Saudi Arabia or Israel. Who knows? It's a possibility.
It's not impossible.
I don't know what to believe anymore. I really don't.
Well, that's the thing, because so much is being kept from us. Yeah. We're not going to... the official narrative is so far-fetched and ridiculous, there's just no frickin' way.
I know.
So what actually happened, who was involved, well, we have no clue. We have no idea. But, you can't rule anything out at this point because there's not much to work with. There's so little out there. And who's doing the digging? People who are, broadcasting from their homes with no money and no resources,
exactly.
Like shows like this, shows like, it's a crazy thing.
And who's doing the official investigation? Intelligence agencies that have lied to us forever. So really, what are you going to believe?
It's a shame. The other day on MSNBC, Morning Joe, the host, the co-host, Mika and Joe are in the house, thank God. But they even said they fact-checked the fact that Clinton said he was on that plane 4 times. It's a lie. There's flight logs. We went through them. We looked at them. He was on that plane 26, 27 times. Mm-hmm. And he's been to the island. So, it's just disgusting that the mainstream media, they're even being complacent in pedophilia. I thought they would stop at war, but they'll take it a step forward, and they'll even cover Clinton on this one. The CNN, Clinton News Network, it is what it is. But the thing that we talk about, the shit iceberg, is the money lines, the connections and stuff. So we talk about St. James Island. Now that Epstein was dead, it seems that the FBI was able to get on there. We had some great drone footage we showed the other day. As the FBI was in there, there was somebody with an NYPD jacket on as well. But St. James Island, Corey Diggs did this amazing story, and she's been doing amazing work. When you talk about St. James Island, you talk about this whole connection of people. You start to question, how were they able to get away with so much stuff? How come nobody was around the island snooping around, whatnot? Well, all tied in money lines with Bill Clinton and the Clinton Foundation, Clinton Initiative. The Eric Holder even has a part to play in this. And all these people who were connected financially, you can't ignore that. And we look at this chart, and it's this chart. You have to go, and I can go into this thing bit by bit, and it would take us hours to break it down. But all these women that you see on this chart in the middle were all friends on Facebook, and they were all boards on this eclectic school, this uppity school on the island. And not only did they get money, and they used the addresses of Jeffrey Epstein for some of their businesses, they were all connected to bundlers of Obama. There was a big investigation going on for tax evasion and tax fraud, and Eric Holder just stopped it in its tracks. Are you seeing something or?
No. I'm just. Is this on the right setting? The fan?
Yeah,
I
it's
was trying,
okay.
Oh, it's okay. It's good.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
I was trying to be stealthy and.
We got the good microphones
do
and
the
stuff.
signal.
But I thought maybe you saw something, but because it just.
No, I was trying to stealthily get Johnny's attention and be like, "Is this okay? This setting?" But
there's one girl in particular too as well, and she was an Obama bundler, and she got Obama close to 300,000, and under Obama's presidency, then Eric Holder, who's the Attorney General, pretty much stopped the investigation and stopped the indictments in its track. So all these people who were in business with Epstein were able to carry on with their business. They have aerospace companies. Even an ex-staffer of Kirsten Gillibrand was a whole mess as well. And you can just see all these connections. And all of a sudden, Bill Richardson, who on this channel we did a show with, there's actually a picture. Do you have it in the bottom of the article? I don't think so. But Bill Richardson was on the island not too long ago as well. So all these ties just keep going on.
There are so many ties to so many powerful people, and I guarantee there's a ton that we don't know about that we're never going to find out about.
Yeah.
I mean, there's unnamed oligarchs that we don't know about that this guy probably rubbed elbows with. I mean, it's...
Yeah.
It is an overwhelming thing. I mean, it's just like, wow, this is real. This is happening.
Yeah. And that's the thing you can't ignore, though, is the digital financial footprint. That's when I talked about Donald Trump. Is like, I don't have the connection to Epstein and Trump financially. I can't find it anywhere. If anybody has it, send it to me. Because all these people will say, well, find something financially tying these guys. But Bill Clinton and Epstein, all over the place. I told this with Graham. I said, on St. James Island, these people work for the Clinton Foundation, the Clinton Initiative. You know what I'm saying? They're all, they're passing around their money. They're protecting themselves. They're protecting everybody in their whole clan. So St. James Island, if you look into it, just look into this article in Corey Diggs, and you can read about each one of these people, and it's just something shady about each one of them. They have pictures with Clinton all over the place, and it just looks awfully suspicious, especially when there's money coming from Epstein funneled in to all these businesses.
What was up with that picture of Bill Clinton in a dress? And it looked like Hillary Clinton's dress.
It was I think it was in the Manhattan mansion, which we're going into next. There was a picture of Bill Clinton in a blue dress kind of hanging. It was weird.
Wasn't Monica's dress a blue dress too?
Well, they have a picture of Hillary Clinton in the same kind of blue dress as well.
Geez. Yeah, okay.
This is starting to sound like a Stanley Kubrick movie. Like, literally.
This is nuts.
And there are people that claim, like, this is the real Eyes Wide Shut. If you guys remember the movie where it's like they wear masks, they go to a secret place. It's like a cabal. They're all having orgies, and there's young people. It's just...
Well, the morning it happened, and I said this on the Jimmy Dore show when we streamed that day, like, what's the word for when you're surprised but not surprised at all? Like, isn't there a word for that? Because that was how I felt all day, where I was just like, it really happened, and this story is so freaking ridiculous, and there's more to it, and now this guy's not going to stand trial. We don't have a chance at finding out what he knows. I can't believe, but except I totally believe it, because I was like, he's not going to stand trial. There's no way.
It's disbelief, but it's like, it's not like you didn't think it was plausible based on how our government's been operated and how things have been. But at the same time, it's like you didn't want to be right. Like it's almost like you being right is like, damn it, this is really bad. This is really where we are in this country, and this is how far deep it goes.
Yeah, and it's only the tip of the iceberg, because there's a lot more to it. When I said the other day, like, Graham had the show and he had this detective on who used to deal with a lot of these cases. Like, we have to use the language right, and I agree with it 100%. We can't call Ghislaine or Ghislaine Maxwell a recruiter. We got to call her what she is, a groomer, programming, whatnot. But I said that when you start looking down these rabbit holes, you'll see not only the children that were groomed to do these things, but the actual people themselves. They seem like they were groomed. They were found at young ages. When you talk about Epstein being in the school of, it's like they find this person at a young age. Hey, Hollywood, you want to be famous, whatnot, and they groom them, and they kind of entice them and get them into pedophilia, whatnot, and then they blackmail them. Blackmail is the tool, not bribery. So there's a lot more. It goes so far down the rabbit hole. You're talking about Epstein was in the school in 73.
Just that stuff that, was it West Palm Beach? It was one of the towns in Florida that released some of that audio footage that they were sitting on for years and years. Why they were sitting on it, I'm not sure exactly, but it hadn't been released until recently. of, some of the victims that came forward. They described how they were recruited, what they did, their age, and it's just literally it's stomach turning. It's absolutely disgusting.
Yeah.
And wow.
That one girl, she said, she said she recruited about 60 girls for Epstein over the course of 4 years. 60 herself. She said she would go to a party, see some young girls, like little middle school freshman parties, and say, hey, listen, let's go to this guy I know, whatnot. And, Epstein would take them in, being all friendly, some nice, whatnot. And then he would do his, thing and eventually just groom them into doing whatever they need to do. These were broken girls, you know what I'm saying, from South Florida, a lot of them. And he did it on the reg. So you talk about the Manhattan Mansion, which is number 2. They have that picture. I sent it on over. But you have to start looking into what was found in that house, too. And they cracked that safe. There was all these discs. There was all these things on it. When are we going to get to see it? Because pretty much the 2,000-page report they released, there was a lot of information that was on the surface. It didn't go as deep as we wanted to. Yeah, it kind of named Richardson. I think they had him dead to rights. But there's a lot more people involved that I want to know about, and I want to see what's on those discs and what's on those tapes.
Yeah.
So
are we going to get to see that, though? That's the question.
That's the question for everything. What are we going to get to see? How much are we going to find out?
Yeah. Well,
we've pondered that on the porch how many times, just sitting there like, how much are we going to get to find out about this? How much? We sat on the porch and talked. We were like, he's not going to stand trial.
No.
He's not going to stand trial.
The Lolita Express, those, that's also too as well. We have to verify these. I don't know why nobody's brought forth and verified these flight logs. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. If Bill Clinton's out there and he gets to get his name removed from Wikipedia on Lolita Express, and he is not in custody right now, and he's still out there tweeting with him and his wife, why is that happening? Why don't we verify these logs and put this man, handcuff this man and bring him in? If these
at least for questioning.
Well, are you really asking that?
Yeah.
Why? Because there is a different set of rules that the ruling class gets to go by. Honestly, it's just when you are at a certain level financially, there's a different set of rules for you.
Yeah.
Than for everybody else.
Well, you think it's stop the pedophilia, though?
We live right. Oh, dude, I agree with you 110%. It's just we're acknowledging the world we're living in right now. The United States is a plutocracy, and
it's run by psychopaths.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah.
West Palm Beach locations. Just want to touch on that. We have to pay attention to the West Palm Beach locations. You get a lot of answers to the intelligence part of what's happened in the West Palm Beach locations. In other words, the jail he went to and the deal he cut with Acosta. Now, I reported on this show a couple weeks ago, I think it was a week ago, that Debbie Wasserman Schultz, Adam Schiff, and Maxine Waters sat on a board of a Mark Epstein company, which was kind of like a global initiative. What had happened with the Epstein deal was in Debbie Wasserman Schultz's backyard. So I'm looking right now and see if there's any connection, because she did sit on the board of Mark Epstein's.
Well, she's never really done anything shady, though, has she?
No, who knows?
Let's ask Tim Canova.
Sarcasm slide. Hop on. It's a fun ride.
And let me tell you something. There's 2 areas now that we haven't even known about when it comes to Epstein. France, which he was coming back. When he was arrested in Teterboro, he was coming back from France. He had a there. Now that he's dead, I guess they're going to start going in and seeing what's going to go on with this, what we can find in Viva la France. Any characters connected up to the top. I would love to see Macron get indicted or named or figured. We don't know. I'm just
you have no idea.
We have no idea. We have no idea.
We got to be fair here.
Yeah,
but
I would love to see that.
That's not.
I know, but he's still.
You're not a fan of him.
I'm not a fan of his. I'm not. Yeah, you're right. I'm not implicated, but I would love to see who's tied to that too as well, because they were complicit in what he was doing too. Either way, and also California. We don't know anything of what happened.
Heard of it.
Epstein had some people in California. We haven't
Hollywood
heard
people
seen shit from it yet, because they're all connected to the Hollywood elites. You know what I'm saying?
CAA is that big one. I think Nico covered part of that, where a lot of these people are represented. A lot of these actors are represented by CAA and have ties to Weinstein and Epstein. So
more stuff is coming out on that too as well. I think they named. We heard that Chris Tucker was on the Lolita Express. Alec Baldwin has been told. They said Alan Dershowitz, all these people. But where in Hollywood? Because there's a lot of thought process that Hollywood is also part of the programming. You know what I'm saying? The Hollywood elites. Sure. Let's make movies to say that we're the good guys. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And have this image, of programming of young kids. I thought Russia was so bad from Rocky IV, to be honest with you. I mean, we're laughing, but I really did.
No, dude. Well, the reason I kind of smirked is because we're sort of seeing a new wave of that now.
With the Stranger Things.
That's
exactly.
Too. Yeah.
Full admission, I still enjoyed the season regardless.
Right, sure.
It was a fun show. But yeah, I mean, I'm with you. Like, we're seeing a new wave of that. And, they're kind of disguising it. Oh, well, it's 80s nostalgia. That was a big thing in the 80s. And it's like, yeah, but this kind of new neo-McCarthyist wave that has nothing to do with it. I don't think so.
Yeah.
No, it's there. The programming is there. Mar-a-Lago, we still looking into that. More stuff there. When not, I believe some of the victims did work or were at Mar-a-Lago that Epstein got a hold of.
And that's where a lot of people see the Trump connection.
Yeah.
Like, how could he possibly not know if Trump, that was where he was, and like, how could he not be aware of it?
Well,
at the very least,
the 97 and 2002 parties, or what I'm saying, that was before everything went down, anyways. And then Donald Trump did in 2011. There's court records on that. Have Jeffrey Epstein banned from Mar-a-Lago, and a lot of people who are pro-Trump keep pointing that out. Hey, he threw him out in 2011. So there are, that was a party. The 28 girls, they're of age. Most of them were the Buffalo Bills cheerleaders. So, but, Mar-a-Lago is a place that we're going to still hear stuff from, because there are going to be victims, that have come out of Mar-a-Lago that worked there or whatnot, or that new thing. There might be people who went to Mar-a-Lago that were Epstein, friends and whatnot. So we have to keep an eye on that location. Not so much for Trump, but the victims involved, I think. And, of course, the Zorro Ranch, New Mexico place, we have to also... more and more stuff's coming out of there. This starts talking about the science philanthropy. This was the big connection I saw to Richardson. As soon as I heard New Mexico, I'm like, wait a second, who did he buy that ranch from? And I saw, it was Bruce King. Bruce King is connected to Bill Richardson. Their name was together in the Black Book. And I started looking, campaign funds, twice for $50,000, which is a decent one for Bill Richardson. And everything just started unfolding with Bill Richardson and started tumbling down. But once again, the transhumanism. He wanted to keep 20 females pregnated at one time on the ranch in New Mexico. You know what I'm saying? So you start talking about the science philanthropy. And a lot of people that go deep into this rabbit hole is like, guys, this is not just using the women for sex. This is programming that might help out the CIA.
That is like a sci-fi movie.
It is.
Like,
but how do you ignore it?
To everybody watching us, there will be a quiz once we're done here. All this stuff.
Sorry.
No. I mean, I'm not. I mean,
know.
it's crazy, this web. Like it's absolutely crazy. Yeah. It's just and it's
how all the right people are involved, or all the wrong people. I would say the Zorros, Epstein, Ghislaine. She's and the Mossad intelligence, the officials, both in our government and in the royal family. I mean, it's every powerful person you can possibly think of.
Yeah. The Ghislaine thing connection with her father. It's just like it's just another web of like, he was in British Parliament, and his connections to communism and connections to Israel. Like he owned. I think he bought the Daily. Was it the Daily News or one of those in New York?
With that. Okay.
Yeah, I watched one night. I stood up and I watched the pro neoliberal Robert Maxwell story, which was very painful because it didn't talk about any significance. It was trying to paint him as just
isn't pro neoliberal just the media?
Yes.
Like, isn't that
yes.
Like, I've never heard it described as that before, but it's like that's pro neoliberal. That's just the corporate media in the United States.
Well, right nowadays, independent media is outlasting the corporate media. Why do you think, guys, that they're like? I mean, they're not even hiding it. They're demonetizing all the Epstein stuff online.
Oh, it's one of those things. If Epstein gets demonetized immediately, anything about a shooting gets demonetized immediately. Anything about war gets demonetized immediately. Anything about pot gets demonetized immediately. Anything about Seth Rich will get demonetized immediately. Anything about Israel Palestine, no matter what your take is, anything on that will get demonetized immediately. Anything about I mean, they just demonetize it immediately.
And what we also talked about, we were talking about, possibly Donald Trump.
The stream is probably already demonetized because we just mentioned these topics.
Yeah.
Like
I mean,
the stream is probably demonetized, and I think we cursed a couple times too. So this stream is demonetized.
Let me check. I'm checking your thing. All right. We got 101 people watching on Ron's YouTube.
Team Plaque One.
Hello,
Team
everybody.
Plaque One. You got a super chat for $5. He says, damn it, y'all, watching on Convo Catch and Ron's channel. But you're live while
there
Jordan
any-
and Status Quo is too. Please let Jimmy not go live as well.
Huh.
There's too much good stuff going on. Because of death rhymes and, how do you say that? That's an Italian word. Tartiglione?
Tartiglione.
That's Artie Patterson with a $2 super chat contribution.
Thank you, Artie. Thank you very much.
Also, we have, I'll let you read that one right there. Who's that? What's that name? Oh, thank you. See, you know how to, this one right here.
CBS reported Jeff's hyoid bone was broken, common with suicide.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, so we were going to go into this anyway, but we,
Cuspinata
so
said that, by the way. $5,
the
thank
coroner
you.
showed that there were signs of strangulation, correct? Johnny looked into this as well. Johnny, did you find anything interesting? Oh, okay.
Well, you can swing this one over to you real quick.
Yeah.
What's a yes or no question? Yes or no, Johnny? Did you?
He
yes,
found
he
some
found
interesting
some stuff. Johnny found stuff on a vehicle known as the Internet. More at 11.
Ron
Back
always just takes shots. He's just
What?
taking shots.
I didn't take
He's a
stop.
comedian.
Who did I
What do you
take a shot
expect?
at?
Yeah, my
What?
lack of
Salami?
knowledge on the
I was
internet.
just trying to help. What made you think that was directed at you? There was nothing indicating.
Ronald, they don't.
Fee
Our
asked the
audience
question.
doesn't know you like
Johnny
I know
didn't
the
have a
two of you
mic.
guys.
Yeah, actually, that was
okay. I
directed
know
at
when the
me.
two of you are busting my BALLS.
I think
Yes, you
somebody's.
are.
I think somebody's a little
Oh,
paranoid.
stop it! We have 474
I
people watching on the Convo Couch
Pasta's a little
YouTube.
paranoid.
Oh, stop it! Tell them about your new nickname for me.
No.
Okay,
No.
Miss Sweet Pea.
No, because
Mike
I'll prove you
Concho.
right. He would be like, they're ganging up on me.
Michael Cruz, we love you, Michael. You're the best. Jennifer Schneider, Adad Jepsteth, Bernadette Starr, Cousin Vinny, we love you. Danny Newman, yes, SSA0, and Adriana Giordano. Some of the we notice people, some of on our stream are from Get Your News On with Ron. I remember when I used to monitor your chats when we lived together and we had salami every day. We used to have 2 pounds of salami in our
Really
refrigerator all the
nostalgic
time.
for this stuff.
Because I miss it. Yeah, she says I eat too much pork, but I'm like, I haven't had an Italian cold cut sandwich in 6 weeks right now. It's
Yeah,
the longest it's been in my life.
I mean, it's delicious, but it's really bad for you,
Yeah,
man.
pasta.
That's
Yeah,
the
but I
problem.
miss it.
I had to cut that stuff out.
Congratulations.
cut
Thank you,
that stuff
Ron.
out.
Hopefully, this is an ad for giving up salami.
This
for
is
vegetarianism.
the last place we're going to talk about MMC, and then we're going to move it on over to the Fiorella's topic, which is also something new we have to talk about, Bernie. The MCC New York, which is a lot of crazy things coming out of it now. I did find a weird connection, and it was just like I saw it with Johnny last night. I brought it downstairs. One of the outlets reported the name wrong of the warden that was removed. In other words, Barr came in and reassigned the warden and the 2 guards. The warden that was been reassigned is a new warden. He'd only been there for a little while. The associate warden, the second warden, the assistant warden, who was the acting warden of that for a long time, of that particular jail, MCC, her name is Shirley Scott, and she actually was given a promotion, they said several years ago, when she tried to sue the department and Eric Holder
So you're
for
saying,
racism.
So wait. So you're saying that they mixed up the names, essentially, of wardens
Yes.
who were supposed to be watching him at the time of his death.
One outlet reported the wrong warden.
Okay,
They
so,
reported the associate warden.
So here's the thing, and maybe I'm like totally stating the obvious, but when stuff like that happens, what does that open the door for? That opens the door for easy deflection.
Yes.
It was this person. No, it was this person. No, it was this person. No, it was a third-party agency.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know.
Yes.
So, and again, what was it totally intentional and malicious? I don't know. I can't.
seems
I don't
like-
have any evidence to make that claim. But I mean,
Yeah. But here
doesn't smell right.
Here's the thing. The associate warden that the one outlet got it wrong and made me look at this woman. I said, wait a second, who's this woman? Like, I would have never even looked at her. And it turns out that she once sued the Department of Justice and Eric Holder in 2013, I think it was, or 2012, and he gave her a promotion. He then made her the, you know what I'm saying? The same Eric Holder who stopped the investigation over in St. James Island. You know what I'm saying? The Eric Holder we know about. So you see these weird connections and you're like, wait a second. So somebody in there, like a Clinton, Obama loyalist was in there, was the associate warden who they made a deal with a long time ago. They have a connection from a long time ago. It just makes you think. It's like,
just,
wait a
yeah.
second. So that's what I'm saying. Within this jail, you have Clinton loyalists, maybe new Trump loyalists. They're also kind of harping on the fact that the budgets were cut for these type of federal prisons by Donald Trump. So I think the media will eventually catch on to that and say, well, you cut the budget, almost like the Benghazi thing. Remember Benghazi when the Democrats said, well, you cut the budget for defense for these, what do you call those things? What was Benghazi?
I mean, dude, it's not fresh on my mind at the moment, man.
It's,
sorry.
Are you talking about?
What was Benghazi when they attacked the, I can't even say the name.
Are you talking about the regime change?
No. In Benghazi, when Hillary Clinton had to sit there, it was it's the consulate of sort. What do you call it?
Okay.
I forgot what. The embassy.
Okay.
Guys, it's the little words I can't. My broken tongue.
I got it. I just wasn't sure where you were going.
So pretty much when Hillary Clinton was defending herself, they said, well, the Republicans, you cut the budget to these embassies to defend ourselves.
Oh, okay.
That's going to come to fruition over here. They're going to point it out that these guards were tired. Some of them, one guy had worked 5 overtime shifts. So the other prison guard said he slept in the car in between shifts because he was overworked that much. So they're going to mention that, and they're going to put that on Donald Trump, the fact that he cut those budgets, and it led to the death of Epstein because they had a bunch of tired and overworked people because they didn't have the proper budget and the proper guards. So that's going to come into play, and you'll see both sides will politicize that as we go along.
And we'll point out another little obvious truth here. Somebody in the prison industrial complex is making money. There's plenty of money floating around in that corrupt industry. Yeah. All right, so are we switching gears here?
We are switching. You had enough of Epstein?
No. I mean, I just, it was like you're kind of. I just want to make sure we covered it.
We covered it, my friends. You want to give any shout outs? Is there any more super chats on Ron? He had a couple, but I don't want to miss them. Thank you all for coming on both of our channels. Ron, you got 124 streaming live right now. That is awesome.
What up?
What up, guys?
So let's get on to the next topic.
Okay.
It's that second one, right? That one right there.
Yeah, I
Let
kind
me
of
get that
need
up for you.
a little bit.
What are we talking about?
Okay, so I did yesterday an episode on what was happening with the media calling out Bernie, saying that he was the same as Trump because he was calling out Jeff Bezos in the Washington Post. And they were saying the worst part of that isn't even the name calling to Bernie. It's the idea that kind of connects with this, that they're framing everything that is criticism of the media bias as a conspiracy theory. So when you do question the media's established narrative, you're automatically a conspiracy theorist. We know step one to all of this is to discredit the witness. So again, they continue doing this when Brian Williams on MSNBC picked the one negative #MyBernie story to read on air. And people kind of started catching on Twitter that it was by longtime Bernie hater Horse Whisperer, and they featured his Twitter name on there. So this began like a series of things where we started looking, who is this person? And we found out that this guy has been hating on Bernie for years.
Yes, but he was also in a vessel that took enemy fire. Let's be fair to him.
Absolutely. I mean, absolutely. And first of all, my biggest issue with him is I'm not for horse racing. And he's a horse racer guy. There are pictures where he's racing horses and stuff. It actually hurts the horses. Anyway,
it's a dirty business.
So the Horse Whisperer said, okay, he said, okay, since this is trending, here's #MyBernie story. The year was 2016, and Bernie was already long eliminated from contention. An actual Democrat would have stopped torpedoing the nominee and worked to defeat Trump, but Bernie had books to sell. The end. And this is what MSNBC chose to feature live. So
that's not a story. That's just repeating hack talking points.
Yeah.
Right. The whole issue with this, though.
So wait, how many states did Bernie win again? 22. How many states do we have? 50. That's a lot of states. Sorry. We all know how ridiculous that tweet was. So there's no point to rehash it. But sometimes you're just like, ah!
One thing you said a long time ago on a show when people kind of send the same criticism like that, you're like, how dare you participate in the political process? How dare you? I remember that was one of my favorite things. It's like, Ronald, he's... What else, babe? Faith. Sorry.
So this guy actually worked for Exxon, Aetna, Citibank. He's a marketing consultant.
Man of the people.
Of course. not me, us kind of guy. And so a bunch of neoliberals were cheering him on, saying like, "Congratulations, you're great. You made it to MSNBC." Blah blah blah. But his real name is Michael Goodenough.
Good enough.
Good enough.
And
Not
what
for
happened is he wrote that tweet and he was like, it's good enough.
Good enough.
This tweet has no original thoughts to be had. This tweet is totally hack and disprovable very easily. Good enough.
Good enough.
Can you guess where
Good
he's
enough.
from?
MSNBC will like it.
Good enough.
Can you guys guess where he's from?
Wall Street offices.
New Jersey.
Edgars.
The state where it's all full of crap. And he's worked for also Pfizer, big pharma consultants. He's also worked for Citibank and Time Warner, as well as Comcast. Time Warner, Comcast in particular. Let's talk about that. Oh, let me mention.
Oh, wait a second. What does Comcast own? MSNBC. Wonder why his story was picked. And it was picked by Brian Williams.
Ding, 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 ding.
We're defined by the beauty of our weapons.
So, in summary, he's a marketer, strategic consultant, Verizon, General Motors, AT&T, et cetera, and very heavily involved in big pharma. But he also used to make commercials for the Army, you guys. Wow. So he was in advertising, and what he did was like the Army is great and pro like join the Army and pro like war, like pro like join the Army and make it's like kind of advertising, making the Army look like a cool place. And someone called him out on Twitter. Bronze Hammer called him out on Twitter. And he said the horse guy used to make commercials for the Army. He would do ads that said the Army is cool. That was his job, to trick teenagers. Can you imagine doing anything
kids.
that pathetic?
We do more before 6 a.m. than people do all day. The United States Army. The few. The proud.
In an effort, because this guy's an idiot, because in an effort to defend himself, he kind of sunk himself in a deeper hole. He said, since I wrote the thread, provided receipts, and provided an account of actually working on military marketing, you may want to sit down. And he said, they're even less popular than those accounts because there aren't a lot of young hipsters psyched about selling potential death. Cooking up manufactured patriotism to get kids to go to Iraq ain't exactly as attractive as working on the CONVO account. These military marketing programs are just another campaign for an agency, no different than selling soap or cars or tampons. So he's saying, I'm up for sale. Yeah.
You can just buy me.
Everything
I have no convictions.
And this was
I'll
after
sell
2016,
whatever.
by the way. This was
2017.
Yeah. So he's saying this is normal and there's nothing wrong with it. So guess who? Guess who came to the rescue?
Your favorite, Neera Tanden.
Neera Tanden.
Oh, she defended? Of course
So
she did.
she admitted the connection, because a lot of people were like, how do you know this is the guy? There's no mention that this is the guy. Like, you're just basing it on supposition.
Who'd she reply to?
Neera Tanden replied to Sam Cedar.
The connections.
And she said, you find doxing justified. And so basically she proved that the connection, because nobody was doxing the guy. We were just trying to find out who he was.
Yeah, that's not doxing.
And
That's
That's not doxing.
call them out on their bullshit, because
why was he on an anonymous Twitter account in the first place?
Yeah.
Right.
That's not doxing.
And how
she doesn't know what doxing is.
Yeah, she doesn't know the definition, but she's obviously gaslighting, and so she's trying to say people are doxing. And so the whole point was to find out why we knew that out of all the My Bernie stories they picked, they decided to pick this guy. And it turns out this frat bro, because that's what he looks like, is friends with Stephanie Rural, who works on MSNBC. And we have her picture there, her Twitter account. Both are from New Jersey. And she actually praised him right after he got on MSNBC. She was like, oh my God, Horse Whisperer, your tweet made it to the 11th hour. Looking good on at 11th hour at Horse Whisperer. Then she subsequently deleted the tweet. But we know that they are friends. And they go back for a while. I was looking through their feed, and they're both from New Jersey.
I wonder if Horse Whisperer, right?
Yeah.
That's the thing. I wonder if Horse Whisperer has any connections to correct the record. It would make sense.
You thought that.
It would make sense.
It would make sense.
I mean, I don't know if that's the case or not, but it would make sense.
And Stephanie Rule was the one that it seemed like in MSNBC, the Epstein stuff was given to her because they wanted her to look into the Wall Street ties. And she was really trying to make justification stuff on the surface, and you can see that she was so way behind on these stories. It's like, guys, I don't know why you're giving this to her. And she even made a statement. Somebody said, well, a house was gifted to Lex Wexner, and she's like, you don't know that, it's urban legend. Literally a couple hours later they had to tell her, like, hey, that's like public knowledge, it's known. So the next guest came on, she opened up the door and she didn't say anything about it, but she was so far behind when it came to this stuff.
Do you want to know a connection? She's represented by CAA.
The agency?
Yep.
Stephanie Rule.
It's all connected.
I mean, when I saw that, I was like, damn.
Yeah.
So either MSNDNC knows how to pick them, or
Who?
or it's just a random coincidence that they picked this one out of all of them, right? It's just too many.
MSDNC?
MSDNC. No,
Yeah.
That is
course.
genius, fam.
Yeah, of course.
I didn't come
Can
up
I
with
ask
that,
you guys
so
a
no.
question?
Well, that's on Twitter, I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure.
Do you think
Isn't
Bernie has been too
I'll take
lenient
credit.
towards the media, whatnot? Do you think he's been too Democratic friendly at times? I mean, because really, to tell you the truth, he just kind of nudged back a little bit this time. I really think he should have made a statement a while ago, just like Donald Trump did, and say,
But
no,
you
these
see
guys
what?
are too much.
But you see what happens when he does.
Well, yeah, that CNN report. I mean, CNN did a report where they defended Washington Post.
Yep.
And they said that, Bernie Sanders makes these claims against the media like Donald Trump.
Yes.
Which that's one of the most frustrating things. When Donald Trump criticizes the media, he's right for all the wrong reasons.
Yes.
The media is horrible.
Right.
We know why the media is horrible. Donald Trump thinks the media is horrible because they're mean to him. So he's right for all the wrong reasons. The media is horrible because there's a basic conflict of interest. They're funded by people who have no business being in news and information, and they're corrupt to the core.
Yeah.
And they get
That's
paid
why the
millions.
media is horrible.
And
But
they're buying up more, by the way. Viacom just
yeah,
made a
but,
purchase of CBS.
I mean, that could
Yeah.
end the free and open internet as we know it, because that's what this is all about. All of these major media conglomerates, they want to get into streaming. That's why CBS and Viacom have teamed up.
Yep.
Time
I
Warner
am
and them
very
have teamed up. They want to get into
of that.
video streaming,
Yeah.
which is going to crush stuff like this.
Yeah. Right.
And especially in a post-net neutrality world, it's going to crush stuff like this. That's what they're trying to do. That's what they're trying to make happen. They're trying to take it the way they took radio and the way they took TV, and it is possible. But anyway, so we all know why the media is horrible. So now they're making this ridiculous comparison of Bernie to Trump. And then the best part was in the segment, they were like, so he makes these claims that, there's not really any
Baseless.
evidence.
Baseless claims.
And then they do a segment where they show Bernie. Bernie says two things that are very provable. Amazon paid $0 in taxes. That's a fact.
Yeah.
Jeff Bezos, he's criticized Jeff Bezos. That's pretty much it. He has a Stop Bezos Act.
Yeah.
Yes, Bernie has been critical of Jeff Bezos. That's not a baseless claim. That is a provable
And
fact.
so has Jeff Bezos. He's been critical directly to Bernie. And of course,
Right.
we have to mention the 16 articles the Washington Post
That was the
published.
other thing. He said the Washington Post doesn't give me great coverage. 16 negative articles within an hour. I think that's pretty provable that, if you do a look at a lot of the stuff Washington Post has generated, there's a very heavy negative slant.
Yeah.
And
And
that's not speculation on Bernie's part.
I learned when you were on the Jimmy Dore show once before we talked about the contract with the CIA.
Oh, yeah,
I mean, there's a
between
contract.
Bezos and,
There's a contract with the CIA. Paid liars, professional liars. And in any other country or anywhere around the world, everybody the oligarch uses the media for control, for manipulation, for misrepresenting people. So I mean, they're using the media here right now as well.
Oh, big time. The difference between our media structure and a lot of other ones, though, not all of them, but a lot of them, and the reason we barely rank in the top 50 when it comes to press freedom is because our media has no checks and balances and no transparency rules whatsoever. It's just a giveaway to the corporate elite. So it's like we don't have a news structure. It's not even we have a bad news structure. It's we don't have a news structure.
Yeah.
We just have a handful of corporations that control everything.
And everybody buying up
And their
everybody.
speakers.
In 20 years, one person's going to own all the media in this country. It seems like they're going to keep buying each other up.
Yeah.
Fam, you got anything else? Because we got some people got to go some places.
No, yeah. No, I just want to say, isn't it interesting this all happened against Bernie, like the Jeff Bezos thing, and then this with Brian Williams, just after he went on Joe Rogan and literally had all of these people, Republicans and independents, coming after him, saying, oh, hey,
and
this
know
guy
what?
isn't that radical.
Yeah, exactly. And I tweeted this about, because some people were getting on Bernie's case for going on that show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what I said? I'm like, look, whether you like Joe Rogan or not, I don't care. That's your business. But Joe Rogan is among the most popular podcasts in the world.
He's the most popular.
He's like the most
Can't argue
popular
that.
podcast, and he has listeners of all political persuasions. He has listeners on the left, on the right, and everything in between.
Exactly.
And that includes unlikely voters and undecided voters. And I put this on Twitter. I'll say it again. You shouldn't be skeptical of politicians who go on his shows. You should be skeptical of politicians who don't
go on shows.
Elizabeth
Absolutely.
Warren.
Ronnie P. Who'd you say?
Elizabeth Warren.
I'm
Sorry.
going to go on Fox.
And I just
Yeah.
wanted to point out because this horse whisperer idiot was talking about
He's a fine American.
a fine American. You're right. I shouldn't have cursed.
Fine American horse whisperer. Very transparent. Not hiding behind anything.
Acting like Bernie didn't do stuff for Hillary to my chagrin. To my chagrin, to all of our chagrins, he went and stomped for her. There is a letter right here of Hillary Clinton thanking him and Jane. We have, Dear Bernie, blah, blah, blah. Thank you for campaigning for me.
Yeah.
And then also, here are all the 37 events that Bernie attended for Hillary Clinton, which this doesn't make me happy to see because
This is more unpopular than anything else.
I was a lot of people. He lost a lot of people for that.
Yeah.
And how many Bernie supporters ended up voting for Hillary? More than Hillary supporters who voted for Obama in 08.
Yeah.
Yep.
Almost cut that number in half.
So this whole thing, it's absolutely ridiculous.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't happy with Bernie doing that. I know a lot of people. You talk to people like Portia Bolger. We need a clean house, coming out of that meeting. A lot of people felt like that. That's the first time that at the Philadelphia convention, Bernie Sanders told his followers that we have to vote for Hillary
And
Clinton.
I'll tell you right
and they
now,
were booing him,
if that happens again, I'm not for it at all.
Not gonna happen.
We're not.
I'm not
doing that shit.
I voted for
Sorry.
Hillary Clinton in Florida before I moved back to California. It was a hard decision. I felt like I had to do something. Felt like I was backed into a corner, but I will not do that again. I will not vote for Joe Biden. I will not vote for Kamala Harris. I don't know. Somebody ask, would you vote for Elizabeth Warren if she was the choice?
It's tough.
That's the tough one.
That's tough. I mean,
that's the tough one.
I've already made up my mind on that.
You're not gonna.
If
or
you're
you
taking
are.
corporate PAC money, I can't
Just say that's
support you.
It's tough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
So.
tough.
Yeah, that's a tough. I mean, I wanna, but again, and with her, it's still early on. With her, it depends on the week. I mean, one week I'm like, well, she's out of the establishment candidates. She's the least. Like, she's the not worst one.
That's
Yeah.
what I'm
I mean,
saying. Well,
she's better than
things.
Biden. She's better than Booker.
Yeah.
She's better than,
she's
she has said some okay things, but it's like, well, how sincere was this one?
Exactly. She does have a break up big tech bill.
She's the best of
She
the
does.
establishment candidates. You
She
said
is
it
the best of
correctly.
the
She's
establishment
still
candidates.
establishment.
She's still
That's
the
the
Not
one
get
from
it
CAA.
twisted.
So that's
Michael Cruz says we're going to vote Bernie or the Green Party. You're damn right, Michael Cruz. Cue the crab. We got to get out of here, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for watching it. My name is Pasta. Oh, you got some super.
we got some
my
more?
Lord.
All right. Yeah, let's
you
hit
want to
'em.
read some of these? Johnny, are you close? Can you see any? Oh, you can't. You can't. You got Trucker again. Epstein's Bill Clinton painting entitled "Devil in the Blue Dress," and there's a stereo in the room playing "Devil with the Blue Dress" on the loop. That's kind of
creepy.
That is
Very
very
creepy.
creepy.
That is
Very
very,
creepy
very creepy.
information.
That was the last super chat I think you had, and that was by. Let me do my romp
over the road
invitation.
trucker.
Yeah. Thank you very much, OTR Trucker, and you can find me on Twitter or at tickets at Ron Placone. Call me up. Come see the show.
Call me
be-
up. Something
Sorry
I've never
about
said.
that. I know.
Call me up.
Call me up is
Good
like an
impression.
expression people used back in the 70s when they actually had landlines. No wonder you were surveyed. I haven't
Damn.
been surveyed, and Ron hasn't either. So.
You guys see the abuse?
Burned.
You guys see the abuse? I did get to do my first poll ever. Right by
Really?
some people. Yeah, I mean, it was like it's the least watched video we've had in 2 months. It's the Convo Couch takes the Quinnipiac poll, but they did call me up, and I was like, holy cow! I couldn't believe it was the first time I was like, and she pointed out the fact that I'm over 40, that they took a chance and said maybe I will say that. And my choice
surveyed
was.
me.
And you know what I said? I got a lot of flack from some people, and I really want to reiterate that we do need a Bernie-Tulsi alliance because,
Yep.
I said that
That's what I
Tulsi
want
was,
too.
Yeah, but a lot of people are against it. I'm arguing with some guy online right now about it, and it's just disgusting because a lot of Bernie people, I don't want to say all of them, but there's a decent amount of Bernie people who are anti-Tulsi, and they're really smearing her,
Well,
and it's not helping.
They don't get the strategy behind it,
They
and
don't.
I think we need more allies than anything
We
right
do.
now because Bernie sitting alone there against all of these establishment hacks is just not going to end well.
Yeah, it's not easy at a table for one. I mean, I just think the two of them together is the strongest ticket we can hope for.
I absolutely agree.
And if we don't have the strongest ticket we can hope for, there's no way they're going to overcome the establishment's, tip in the scale.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, we have to be so loud that they can't cheat again.
Yeah.
And the way I see it, that's the only chance we have at doing that.
Yeah.
If someone has a better idea, I'm listening. But
that is the best idea,
I can't think of a better...
Tulsi's going to get votes that I'm sorry, Bernie Sanders would never be able to get. And if
and
Tony
vice
concedes,
versa. I mean, they neither one of them is perfect, but they complement each other very well.
Exactly.
In areas where Bernie's a little weaker, that's
She's
where she's a little stronger. In areas where she's a little weaker,
that's where
Bernie's stronger. So,
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah. Well, there's an
Cheers
argument.
to that. That's exactly my process.
Well,
on
there's
that.
an argument that says that she's poaching away votes from Bernie Sanders, and I don't believe that.
No.
I don't believe that at all.
It's still too early to even be thinking in that mindset. I mean, right now it's like the debates are still happening. You can't have Bernie being the lone progressive out there.
Exactly.
I mean, that's why I've given money to 3 campaigns. I've given money to Gabbard, I've given money to Sanders, and I gave money to Gravel.
Yeah.
Not Andrew Yang.
No.
Well, ladies and gentlemen,
The
I think we got to
Yang
end on
Gang's
that
gonna
note.
be mad at you.
Thank you for watching, everybody. Remember, we have a Patreon. If you can help out at any dollar, any amount, just go on there. We'll have Fees. She's posting up a video soon, right, Fee?
Yes, I have several.
Okay, and also my cooking's on there. I'm going to try to cook a little bit more vegetarian, but I put a bolognese recipe up there. We have a Twitter. We have a Twitch, and we also are on Rockfin now. Ron Placone is on Rockfin, too, as well.
I am,
He
and
recommended us.
youtube.com/RonPlacone, RonPlacone.com for all my tour dates. Grab those tickets. Upper Midwest in Australia. That's what's going on the rest of this year. And then we're going to be going everywhere in 2020. So,
Sweet.
Thank you for collaborating with us again.
Oh, it's always a pleasure. I enjoy
Pasta
it.
Jardula,
And Fiorella Isabel.
Johnny Tsunami, and
Ron Placone.
CONVO.
Out.
Peace.